Hello everyone, this is Pal Ponder on Weather coming at you with another video. In today's update, we're going to be talking about the snowfall coming up for the second half of October, and also some blocking that's going to be setting up over the U.S., releasing some colder temperatures into the central U.S. So before I do get started, if you do like weather-related content, please subscribe to my channel, as I will upload about 5 videos a week to keep you updated. All right. So let's kind of delve into the details. What you're looking at right now is the overall teleconnections of the AO and the NAO. And as you can see, both of them are going negative, not only now, but will continue to remain negative for the rest of the month of October, setting the stage for some colder temperatures to start funneling into the U.S. And these temperatures will kind of like a step down process and will get colder throughout the month. So let me kind of show you how this is going to play out. Let's kind of zoom out to kind of give you an overall depiction of what we're looking at. I expanded the view to the northern hemisphere, and what we're looking at is the 500 millibar pattern and how this is setting up. We had Delta that came into Louisiana. That's lifting out, building a ridge over Canada. That's setting up a trough for the first initial cold front that's coming in right now, releasing some colder temperatures into the central U.S. and for the deep south. But that is setting up for some unusual blocking pattern that we're seeing earlier on in the season. You can see the ridge kind of building to the north. We've got ridges to the north, a trough underneath, and that traps the cold air into the central part of the U.S. And this will only circulate and release colder temperatures throughout the month, because as we expand the view, and that is Friday, this pattern actually kind of continues and even amplifies next week. We've got blocking all the way around it, setting the stage for that trough to dig down starting into Montana and the Dakotas, releasing some very cold air and some snow to break out in that part of the region. And that colder air will eventually funnel down into Texas and parts of the southeast, and eventually into parts of the Ohio Valley. And those colder temperatures will again continue all the way through the end of the month. We've got, as this blocking kind of sets up over the central U.S., this will rotate and release those colder temperatures and kind of lock in that pattern for the second half of October. So it's got some pretty chilly temperatures on the way. So if we look at the overall anomalies, you can see we've got, and now of course this model's in Celsius, but these are temperatures, 10 to 15 degrees below average by Thursday, by the middle of October. And those will release some pretty cold temperatures, definitely a fall-like pattern coming up, if not winter, sometime next week, as I'll kind of show you here in a second. But that first initial front will dive down all the way down to the deep south by the 17th, giving some colder temperatures all the way into Texas, as well into the southeast in Louisiana and Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and the Carolina states. Even the northeast will get into the action. But you can see behind it, we've got another shot of even colder air coming down the pike with that blocking pattern setting up. And by Tuesday of next week, about 8 days from now, around the 20th, that's when I think the coldest temperatures of October will kind of play out, and setting over Montana, Wyoming, parts of the Dakotas, Nebraska. That colder air will get all the way down into Oklahoma. This is, I think, where you're going to start seeing some snow break out, and this part of the region, and that colder air will eventually kind of give way for the deep south, and bring those 10 to 15 degrees below normal temperatures all the way down to the Texas, not just northern Texas, all the way down to the coast and the Rio Grande Valley area, all the way down to Louisiana and parts of the Ohio Valley. So it's setting the stage for the central U.S. And unfortunately, California gets left out again with a drier pattern. We got La Nina set it in, and we've got some warmer waters setting up over here. So that's what's, setting the overall flow to come down into the central U.S., releasing those colder temperatures down in this part of the region. But that's on the 22nd. And then as we continue and expand the view, those colder temperatures will eventually kind of slide itself eastward as we're looking for a setup in the tropics that we talked about yesterday with Tropical Storm Epsilon potentially coming up from the Caribbean. And there's colder temperatures from the top, but those warmer temperatures kind of hang on for the southwest. But as we expand the view and look at the overall CFS V2 temperature model, it kind of implies the same thing. By right now through the next 5 to 10 days, we've got those colder temperatures setting up over a good chunk of the central U.S., releasing those colder temperatures with that first initial cold front all the way down to the deep south. And it just amplifies next week. That colder air really starts to settle in. And like I said, that we'll be watching what's coming out of the Caribbean with Epsilon by then, and that'll be kind of stealing the headlines. But as we expand the view all the way through the end of the month, those colder temperatures still hang on over the central U.S., releasing some chilly air for October to end October. So I do believe the second half of October is going to be chilly, but it also is going to be breaking out some snowfall across a good chunk of the northern U.S. So this is the overall snowfall outlook for the rest of October, setting the stage for some snowfall in Montana, the Dakotas, Wyoming, parts of Colorado. I think Denver even picks up a little bit of snow by the end of the month. Most of this will be in the mountains, but parts of Nebraska, and this will swing into Iowa. I do think you're going to pick up at least an inch or two of snow, but predominantly into to Minnesota and to Wisconsin, where most of the snow is going to be. And then, of course, in the mountain region of Idaho and, of course, western parts of Montana. And this will funnel down all the way down. We could see some flurries into the panhandle of Texas, but of course, this is October, and it's very hard to get those colder temperatures all the way down to the deep south. But I do believe this will, extend further south as we go deeper into fall and especially into winter. And you guys in the Northeast, besides the upper elevation, most of this colder air setting up for the second half is setting the stage for the central U.S. And then as it shifts east, it will modify. So I don't expect too much snowfall for you guys up in the Northeast, up and just, the higher elevation. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. Be sure to watch the update after this video for Tropical Storm Epsilon, and also my winter forecast that I released about a week or two ago. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. Please like it, leave your comments below, and I appreciate you guys watching, and catch me in the next video where I protect you before and after the storm.